Hello there, Simon Hingle from Tora Cookery. Just like to introduce you to our World War One First 6 GR Gurkha Kukri. Now, this is a copy from an original that's picked up in Gallipoli, and I'll do a little bit on the original a bit later. Tora's version comes with a 33cm long blade, a belly depth of 5.8 centimetres, and a weight of 558 grams. Really nicely done cookery, and the Kami once again outstanding work in copying this cookery. It's almost identical, except for the fact that, like all our cookeries, we put a bit of extra length on the handle for Westerners to be able to use it effectively. Super blade. And to think that this cookery was used at the famous incident at Sari Bair, where the Gurkhas got to the top of Sari Bair and Gallipoli was ours, and then our own navy bombed them off the top. Fantastic bravery, and that's where the future General Slim became so enthused with the first 6 Gurkhas that after he'd recovered from his wounds, which were very serious, he then joined the first 6 Gurkha Rifles and then went on in World War II to lead us in Burma and defeat the Japanese. Outstanding general, outstanding man. I read his autobiography and it's really good. Just like to say that these old cookery made for the Gurkhas, and these were battalion issue cookery, so made specifically for the regiment, handle absolutely superbly. I can't reiterate that enough. Compared to the modern cookery that the Gurkhas are issued to, they're like the Rolls Royce to a dinky toy. Much better. Beautiful to handle in the hand, just lovely to wield about. Just can't really explain that to handle these old cookery or cookery that are actually almost exact replicas of the originals. They're absolutely superb. And of course, you know, this cookery with its association in Gallipoli, not only Sari Bair but Gurkha Bluff as well, their bravery is just immense. I've already done Allison's book of the 6 Gurkhas in Gallipoli in a previous video, but you know, and that really does show how brave those guys were, and in fact the British officers. I think that's something that's often overlooked. The British officers in the Gurkhas showed immense bravery along with their men as well, and were often the reason why the Gurkhas were so successful and followed those British officers into hell, basically. But what a cookery. I mean, the history behind this is just fantastic. Now obviously it comes with a scabbard, and it's a scabbard that's very near the original. It comes obviously with the place to put your tinder in, and the housing for the chakmak and carder, and obviously for the cookery itself. The cookery, like all the military cookery, come with chakmak and carders. Ours now come with an 8.5 centimetre long blade, and are very nicely done, and now a good usable length as well, instead of the pretty little things you quite often get in Nepal now. Being a military cookery, obviously it comes with military frogs, and these are extremely well done, good thick leather. Now the original. This is the original. What a blessing to get this cookery. I mean, I did a swap actually on this cookery for a Mark 1 cookery, and it came with little bits and pieces along with the scabbard. The scabbard was destroyed, by the way, in the earthquake in Nepal in 2015, so I've had to have a new one made, but luckily the cookery survived. Just fantastic. I mean, all the classic things about a World War I cookery, the way the butt cap is done, the feel, the balance. This one is slightly heavier than the one I've just shown you from Tora, but everything else about it is almost identical. And just to show you what I meant about the handles, by the way, you can just see here that the handle lengths are modified for Western use. But to show you how close they are in terms of accuracy in their profile and the way they're done, there you go. Amazing work with the Kami. Can't praise them enough, to be honest with you. Just absolutely incredible. Even the cowardly is spot on. Just brilliant work by the Kami, it must be said. Now, what came with the original, which was rather nice, was bit of wood that the Gurkha put in his tinder pouch so that to light his fire with, and he would just shave it off with his carder, or maybe even the kukri itself. That's original to the kukri. And the British guy that picked it up wrote on his, it's so faded now, the Gurkha's name, the fact it was the first 6 Gurkha rifles and it was B Company. Just wonderful. And in fact, the service number that was on the kukri as well, which was 548, which is somewhere, oh there it is. I don't know if you'll actually be able to see it, but just on the spine there, it's 548. Amazing to handle this kukri that, you know, went through hell basically in Gallipoli, and so many Gurkhas were killed fighting out there. Atrocious conditions. I mean, it made the Western Front look really quite pleasant indeed. I mean, these guys hardly ever got a break, and the flies, the disease and everything else in Gallipoli was horrendous. So hats off to everybody that fought on the Allied side in Gallipoli, and you know, to the Turks as well. They were reasonably honourable men, and you know, to be fair, they were in the same boat as the British and Allied troops and the Gurkhas. Now, I'd just like to recommend a book. If you're interested in the Gurkhas, then this book, The Jai 6 by Lunt, is a superb book. It's a informal regimental history. So it's not as boring as some of the regimental history books that I've had. For example, the 7th GR book, you've only got to read about 3 or 4 pages and you start drifting off to sleep, because we move from here to there and there to here, and there's hardly anything about the Gurkhas and what they did, you know, in action themselves. It's just full of boring rubbish, to be perfectly honest with you. But this, along with things like the 9th Gurkha Rifles and the 1st Gurkha Rifles regimental history, they're a great read and thoroughly recommend them. So to go with, if you do decide to buy our first 6 Gurkha Rifles kukri, if you haven't already got this book, thoroughly recommend getting it, along with Allison's book as well. I'd just also like to say to get General Slim's biographies as well. Well worth a read. He's probably the most, well, he is the most famous 6th Gurkha Rifles officer in their history, and what a superb general he turned out to be. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy using and having your kukri. Just a quickie, I got muddled up with my service issue numbers. 548 is actually on another kukri. On this first 6 GR kukri from Gallipoli, it's actually 843 is the service number. Just a brilliant kukri, love it, absolutely love it to bits. Now the book that I really enjoy reading about General Slim is called Uncle Bill. Fantastic book. I read it I think it was in Crete about 4 years ago now. Superb read, absolutely brilliant. I thoroughly recommend getting it. Once again, thank you for watching, and enjoy your kukris. Thank you.